I'm going to tell you a tale of greed and misfortune. One that could happen to you or people around you. Now, there are lots of ways to get hold of money, some wiser than others. In my day, money just went on tripe, grog and wellies. But people spend money on all sorts of things these days. Food, rent, clothes, water, electricity, and all them thingamybobs. People have to find money to pay for what they need and try not to spend more than what they's got. Now, I don't know what your folks do, but in my story, like all good stories, the money comes from the sea, from fish. Not so long ago, in a place far south from here, there was a penguin. Now, this penguin liked fishing, as many penguins do, and would sit patiently every day, come snow or shine. Go on! Now, you might find it hard to believe, but there are limits to what you can do with fish. So, penguins sometimes had to head into town and go to the shops. There were other people who needed fish, so Penguin swapped what he didn't need for money. And used this money to pay for all the stuff he needed that wasn't fish. This was great, but what seemed like a lot of money had to be used on all sorts of things. And it all added up. On a day much like any other, Penguin woke bright and early. It was always cold in the morning, but Penguin didn't mind. He liked to get out and about. Penguin had just sat down to get to work when something happened. He was good at fishing, but sometimes anyone can get a bit more than they bargained for. It came up from the depths, and then there it was! Cripes! What a whopper! Keen for the prize, both fish and the penguin tugged, wrenched, puffed and pulled until... crack! Oh dear, this was trouble. Penguin couldn't go fishing with a broken rod, and there was no spare. He'd have to get it fixed. A handful of change wasn't going to cut the mustard. Penguin needed cash. First, he tried the bank, but it seemed not everyone was willing to help. Penguin tried his computer. Unfortunately, this didn't quite work out. The internet can be a confusing place, especially for penguins. He was running out of options. Penguin didn't know what to do. He was tired and thoroughly fed up. It was at this moment that Mr. Finn chose to introduce himself. Hello. He said he could help and looked very friendly. Maybe Penguin's luck was changing after all. Mr. Finn had money Penguin could borrow. He said not to worry, Penguin could pay him back later whenever he was ready. Penguin was in a good mood. Now he had lots of money, he could fix his fishing rod, or maybe he could catch even more if he had a new one. And Mr. Finn did say he could pay him back when he was ready. Penguin had a good day's fishing, but he'd not caught enough to pay back all of the money. Maybe tomorrow. The next day, Penguin went back to visit Mr. Finn, but this time he was less friendly and more hungry. What a grin! Penguin didn't think anyone could have so many teeth. He had enough money to pay back Mr. Finn, but the shark said that the amount he owed had got bigger because he says Penguin had kept him waiting. Mr. Finn didn't like waiting. It looked like Penguin would have to go fishing again. No matter how hard Penguin worked, it seemed that Mr. Finn always wanted more. It seemed hopeless. And what's more, someone was watching. Not more trouble, thought Penguin. No, it looked like trouble for Mr. Finn. With no license, Mr. Finn wasn't even supposed to be lending money. Rotten crook. Lucky for Penguin, there are people out there who sort out sharks like Mr. Finn. Looks like Mr. Finn will be spending some time in the tank. Penguin certainly wasn't going to trust sharks again in a hurry, but what could he do now? Just then, Penguin's family arrived. They'd heard of a thing called a credit union, where he could borrow safely and start to save for the future. Penguin thought he could have saved himself a lot of worry and money if he'd seen them first. And now, Penguin could get back to what he loved best. Oh, loan sharks are a nasty business. They're criminals, the lot of them. I hope you and your folks stay as well clear of them as a whiffy bait box. Put it away. If you know anyone who's caught up with one, you can always let your teacher know. Best of all, as if money's not a worry in the first place. Save a little bit back each week, and it'll make all the difference. There's a special team. They're not all bears and penguins, but just as good. They can help people who's got tied up with loan sharks and the like. They do all sorts. Put loan sharks in prison and help people to make better choices with their money. Great stuff. Well, it's high time I got back to work. You'd better stay away from sharks and all that fishy stuff. That's my job.